Grow My Cleaning Company teaches owners of cleaning companies just like you how to grow your company, make more money, and finally take charge of your financial future and your life. This podcast is about automating and creating systems that give you time and money freedom so you can grow like crazy without losing control. Since this is totally free, if you're getting tons of value, want to support us and make sure that you get more of the good stuff, subscribe, rate, and review to this podcast today. Now, on to the show. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another live. We're live right now. I don't know how many people are going to be on live. Some of you guys listen to the recording, but welcome everybody live. We are going to jump into what I've been hearing a lot about lately. It's so much fun getting to talk to you guys so often because I just do these lives. We just do the questions that all of you guys are asking. So today we're going to jump into employees or contractors for your cleaning company. United States, that would be W-2 versus 1099 contractors. In Canada and UK, I think they've got different nomenclature, but the reality is we're going to talk about the difference between are we going to hire someone, make them an actual employee, or just try and say that they are a contractor. The problem is I'm getting over a cold, so my voice sucks. In addition to that, there's a lot of beliefs around employees can be really expensive, but there's definitely some scary stuff with hiring contractors if you go wrong. So we are going to do that. Oh, Denise says hello from New Jersey. We did an interview a while ago. Love this topic. Beautiful. Let's jump in. Oh, we've got Mary from New Zealand. Love our Aussie and New Zealand friends as well as you. I don't know what it is with these lives, but it's always people from Europe. So glad to have you, Tim and Sander and Chris. And certainly Mary all the way from across the world. So let's just jump right in. One of the big things that people get afraid of is Craig says that says Craigie still. Is that that's Mr. Kaluki? I have a big smile on my face. He says he just came for the good looking hosts. And clearly he did a typo. He meant the good looking co-host, which would be my bride. Oh my gosh, Garen is here. It was still alive. Garen was one of our attendees at our Florida live event. Is such a rock star. Love that dude. I think it was Florida. Pretty sure it's Florida. He's gonna yell at me if it's not, but welcome, man. Good to have you. So let's just jump in. I'll keep welcoming people as you guys come because I love this community. It's always fun to hang out with my friends here. So the big starting point, not everyone feels this way, but a lot feel like W-2s is a huge headache and it's expensive and it's scary. So we just don't want to do it. The reality for not just contractors versus W-2s are if you have a problem that requires money and you have the money, guess what? There is no problem, kids. We're good to go. So hey, Jolu's on the call. So excited to have you, man. He's one of our brand new Clean Profit Elite members. So excited to have you, brother. Good to see you here. Can't wait to talk to you later this afternoon, man. All right. So again, a lot of people fear because it's expensive and it's a headache and they don't know what they don't know and they're afraid of running afoul of the government. So they just go with contractors and say, well, they're not employees. The scary part is a lot of times that exact strategy is sometimes what can make people run afoul of the government. We're going to talk about exactly what that looks like. Jason Johnson in the house, finally back in Alaska. He was traveling the world. Now he's back home, I believe. Good to see you, man. So the big foundation we're going to put here that's going to hopefully make 60% of your lives easier is, again, on that same concept of if you have a problem that requires money, you've got the money, you don't have a problem, right? So what you're going to do is we always recommend that you hire a good, large payroll company to handle your payroll. So if we're talking like ADP or Paychecks, QuickBooks does it. Typically, if you've got less than 50 employees, we're talking couple $100 a month. It is just not that expensive. And that for that, they're going to handle all the withholdings. They're going to make sure that everything gets paid on time. If they make a mistake, they're going to pay the fines and all that, which is fantastic. And they're going to make sure that you're compliant and you fit all the criteria you're supposed to fit. So long story short is, again, if it was thousands of dollars to have employees, I get the fear, but literally you can get a good company like ADP or Paychecks or something like that for a couple $100 a month and make sure that you're super compliant, which checks the box of them being a huge headache or running or fear of running afoul of the law or the government. The next belief that people have that holds them back is W-2 is super expensive. I've got to pay FUDA and SUDA and Social Security. And what are all these fees? And it's just going to cost me more. Workers' compensation, blah, 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 blah. So the short answer is yes, absolutely. It's expensive. There's no question. But the reality is a couple things. First and foremost, your customers pay for it, right? When you're bidding things properly, you find out what your cost is and you go off of that. So we mark it up. And if you've got the right customers, they're going to expect that you have things like workers' compensation insurance, that you actually have employees, if you are employees, that you're paying them legally, not under the table, that you've got FUDA and SUDA, which is federal and state unemployment, blah, blah, blah. So again, it sucks and it is expensive. And, but again, the deal is you're not going to pay for that. Your customers are going to pay for it. A lot of you guys are going to go, oh, I know customers are cheap and they won't pay, blah, blah, blah. Some won't. You're right. Guess what? Some people don't want my coaching. They want to get, give a shiny button and a hug to a hobo under a bridge somewhere for coaching who'll probably do it cheaper, and they're going to get what they pay for. So do I try and convince those people to spend more money and hire me? No, I don't want to deal with those people. Go hobo out, people, right? I want to find the right customers for me. So for you, if someone wants the cheapest thing and doesn't care if their W-2 or 1099 are properly insured or legal or any of that fun stuff, guess what? They're the wrong customer. Don't waste your life trying to convince that guy to stop being crazy. Go find the right guy and bring value to his or her life. Natalie, I'm going to get over a cold, so my voice is kind of cracking. So I'm going to take a quick nap while Natalie says something important. Go. A word from our sponsors.
Awesome. I'm still fighting the same thing. That's one of the fun parts about having a toddler, being patient zero, always bringing the loveliness into our home. That said, I think another part of it is they think it's a lot cheaper. Like, oh, well, as long as I don't have to deal with the insurance, like workers' comp and all that, my life will be easier. But the thing is that it's required either way. So now you're required to ensure that your employees have their own workers' comp and their own insurance. And the likelihood of somebody that is willing to work for your company to clean, to be proactive and get their own workers' comp and insure themselves is slim to none. So, we all know from in the cleaning industry, getting people to just show up is hard enough. So asking them to be like, no, just show up, get your own workers' comp, make sure that you have your own, uniforms and all that, and that you're on time and you manage all of that stuff. But for some reason, you haven't been able to do anything else other than come and work for me and not start your own company is kind of silly too.
So, let's dive into that a little deeper because you're exactly right. Before we do, we are recording this early February, the Tuesday after the Super Bowl, and Alan Kielvo has the audacity to come into this house with the little Patriots logo. It's only been their 394th Super Bowl, Alan. It's enough already. We're sick of it. I'm actually a Broncos fan. I don't care about the Patriots, but it's enough. So hello, Alan. Welcome. Danielle, welcome. Glad to have everybody on here. It's so funny. You can kind of tell by how many people show up, how important of a topic is. There's a lot of people in this one. So apparently you guys are interested in contractors versus W-2. So what Natalie was saying was absolutely right. And a lot of people kind of do the stick their head under the sand, like, well, it's their job legally to get insurance. So if I don't follow up on it or check, everything's going to be just fine. Well, let's walk that through. The likelihood of someone getting stabbed to death as they clean, pretty low. The likelihood, hopefully, if it's high, you guys are doing something wrong. You're in the wrong neighborhood. You're doing something horribly wrong. But the likelihood of somebody driving to or from a cleaning job and getting in a car accident is as good or bad as regular car accidents, which we all know happens every day. And God forbid something fatal happens, or even, again, people do get injured on the job, even in cleaning. It's unlikely, but it's possible. There's a couple pretty big issues we need to deal with. Personally, for me, knowing that I did not ensure that my employees were insured, and we kind of had this wink, wink, nod, nod agreement that they were supposed to buy insurance, and we both knew good and well they were never going to buy insurance, and then they got hurt. I wouldn't be able to sleep super good with that. That would be a problem. I'm not going to be, got in the 20 years I've been in business, I think I've had about 2 injuries, no fatalities with all my hundreds of employees, and they were awful. And I felt good because we had done everything legally and they were all protected, and I could sleep at night knowing things just happen. It was still a kick in the nuts to see people we care about hurting because of something, trying to help our company. Had we not done that, and I had just a wink, wink, nod, nod, and they didn't have coverage or insurance, because they came, they were still working, they'd come and they'd have doctor sayings, we'd work them through it. It was all covered. If it hadn't have been, I would have felt awful. And I don't know how I could have led that team with this sick person who couldn't work or was maybe bankrupt because of something that happened because I didn't require them to have insurance. That wouldn't be okay for me. So that, just me, no judging, you guys do you. But I'm guessing most of you, because I talk to you guys every day, wouldn't be okay with that either. The other option is, I don't care. Whatever happens, happens. Okay, well, guess what? You think they're going to sue just the poor cleaner? Generally, cleaners aren't known for their high net worth. No, they're going to sue your company, the building that you were in or that they were on their way to. Anyone that's got insurance or a pocketbook, which is typically going to be your customers and you, is going to get sued. Whether they win or not, I'm not a lawyer, but typically the big, bad, scary business owner loses, and the poor cleaner that has been, taken downtrodden, taken advantage of wins. Either way, that can absolutely, just like that, put you out of business with all those lawsuits. And could you still get sued if you do have workers' compensation insurance? Absolutely. But at least you're going to have a very good position if I did everything legally. So I get really nervous when people say stuff like they're supposed to have insurance, and it's word, don't ask, don't tell. Fine, great, until somebody gets into an accident or decides they hate you and wants to get you in trouble, and you've got this big gaping hole in your business that can take you out. So I hate to be a bummer on these calls, but I'd rather be a bummer and save someone's business than wait until somebody gets hurt and they're not insured and you go out of business because you didn't do that. Okay. Another thing that we believe that really kind of loses some clarity is that customers don't know or don't care if their employees are not in their building, whether it's their home or their office. They don't care. Don't know, maybe depends if you've got someone that's savvy. If you're in my market and I'm competing with you, and I don't own a cleaning company currently, so that's not a threat. But if you were in my market and I'm competing with you, I'm absolutely gonna have W-2 employees, and everyone I come in contact, my list, which is going to be pretty much everybody that is a decent prospect, they're going to know good and well that they need, why exactly they need W-2 employees, how to check on it. And if you try and come compete with me, your 1099s, you're going to get shellacked. The good news is if you hold on, so I always look at the chat and then it gets me off track. So Danielle says, what if an employee breaks an item in a client's home? So that doesn't really have anything to do with 1099 or W-2 employees. That would just have to do with workers' compensation insurance. If that's something you want to write a check for yourself, if you want to try and have the employee pay for it, best of luck on that. But that really doesn't, the way that's going to play out isn't going to be a big difference, irrespective of if they're an employer, a general or a contractor.
I don't know if that's workers' comp insurance. I think that's just general insurance, isn't it?
Well, it'd be general liability, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But again, it's typically, again, it depends on the item. If it's a $50 item, I'm not filing a claim. I'm going to write a check. If it's a $50,000 item, hello, general liability insurance. David says, when does it start? David, I have no idea what you mean by that question. You be a little clearer. I'll see if I can help you. Okay. That said, so again, the bad news is if you're trying to go 1099 and you've got a savvy marketer in your area, you're going to get shellacked by that guy. The good news is if you'd like to go W-2, you could be a savvy marketer and educate your community on the benefits and the requirements of, hey, you can certainly save a buck and have some unlicensed, uninsured, hired contractor, stranger in your home or business. Let's give them the keys. Or yeah, you can pay a little bit extra and really protect yourself. And again, on the residential side, I know for me and my wife, I would just not buy it, right? If it was $300 a month for a good cleaner that I trusted and had some insurance and was bonded and was legitimate with my wife and kids and pets in the house, oftentimes without me, and it's $300 or $200, I'm paying the $300 or $400 or $500. And if I can't afford the good stuff, then I just won't. I'm out. Right. The people that are like, I don't care, take advantage of whoever you want. We'll roll the dice. Again, not typically the customers that you want. Even more so on the business. I couldn't imagine a business that's like, instead of $800 a month to clean my building, you can do it for $600, but it's just gonna be just a bunch of uninsured people in my office. Anyone that's okay with that on the commercial side is nutballs. So that's that. What else what am I missing? I can just tell the government that they're contractors and the government will sign right off. Like they're a trusting bunch. Anyone ever been to the DMV or dealt with the government in any regard ever? Laughing at my own terrible joke of the government being trusting good people choked me up with phlegm and sadness. So the reality of the situation is, they can decide unilaterally after the fact if you had Joe Lou says clients want that peace of mind. Absolutely. And it's our job to educate them, right? A lot of times they just say I want the cheapest price, but what they really mean is I want the cheapest price. And you start asking questions like, great, the cheapest price is going to be uninsured, is that okay? And they'll go, oh well, no, I need insurance. And they'll go, okay, fine, the cheapest price with insurance. All right, do you want legal employees? Well, yeah, of course I want legal. Okay, so the cheapest price with legal insurance. How about uniforms? Is it okay just to have people that you don't know skulking around your building in the middle of the night? No. So once you start educating them and having conversations, you'll find they don't want the cheapest price. They want the cheapest price that gets all the qualifications, and we're going to educate them on what those important qualifications is. Dina's making general liability insurance stuff. Yeah, that's true. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that on a different day. As of today, it's W-2 versus 1099. So again, with the government, you don't want to fall for that. Oh, I've decided they're 1099 and that's it. The government can literally come in after the fact and unilaterally go backwards for X amount of years and go, no, they were W-2, and there will be fines and there will be late fees. And again, depending on your financial situation, that can put you out of business. And also just the clarity, like a lot of people don't even know if they are, they'll go, oh, I know it's 1099. I know my people are 1099 because I don't provide them supplies. Again, this is a government, folks. There is nothing clear. And guess what? In the case of a draw, they're going to win. They're just going to decide for their favor. So it is not clear. It is certainly not based in common sense. I'll just give you a quick overview. And the goal of this call isn't to get way into the details of this. You're going to want a labor lawyer in your state for this. But just to let you know how complex it is, just the overview is there's three criterion that they use. And again, they're all subjective, right? So they give some guidelines, but it's not like there's a hard and fast rule where you can say this is absolutely a W-2 contractor or absolutely a W-2 employer, 1099 contractor. It's really the government agent's discretion. He's got to follow these guidelines, but they're guidelines. So first, behavioral control. Do you tell them when and where to work? Typically, that is a yes, right? You certainly are telling them where to work. You don't just say go out into the world and clean wherever you like. You tell them where to go. And typically, you tell them when to do it. Do you give them training? Hopefully you do. Well, that would be indicative that they're employees, not 1099 contractors. Do you purchase supplies for them or tell them where to purchase supplies? Guess what? You should be. We do not want, certainly on the commercial side, like if I go to McDonald's and the one, next to my house is, uses tofu burgers and the one over there buys burgers from down the road and the one over here buys them from, Canada, that's a problem, right? McDonald's absolutely tells its vendors where to buy supplies. You should be the same thing. That's part of your professionalism is we don't just buy Windex or whatever. We buy professional grade supplies. Financial control. I won't even get into that, but certainly you've got some sort of financial control into them because you're paying them. And you're telling them when and where to work and telling them how much you're going to pay them. And I get a flat rate is generally better than an hourly rate, but these are all negotiable things and they all kind of depend on each other. So the first is behavioral control. Second is financial control. Third is the relationship. The expectation that the relationship will continue indefinitely is an indicator that they are an employee. Every one of you, I would imagine, has an expectation that it would continue indefinitely, right? That's our hopes and dreams. Services provided are a key aspect of the regular business of your company. Well, if you're a cleaning company and they're providing cleaning services, I think it'd be pretty easy for a government agent to make the case that cleaning services are a key aspect of the regular business of your cleaning company. So all that to say, most of the time I've looked at people dealing with this, they had W-2 employees, even if they're trying to trick the government and shirk out on having to pay insurance, they really did legally have W-2 employees. They're just hoping to God that nobody gets pissed at them when they quit and turns them into the government, and or they don't just get audited, because in either one of those, they're going to have a big problem. So I'm sure I'm missing a bunch of stuff. I've been talking a ton. The good-looking one hasn't said anything. Natalie, what am I missing? What do you want to add? I know you talk to Clean Nation every day, all day. Bring some wisdom.
I think it's also kind of, there's two other things, just with like the controlling their habits, like you can't force a 1099 contractor to wear a uniform. So if part of your system, which it should be, is, hey, we come into your home, we're identified, we have badges, we have uniforms, so there's not just some strange person with a key to your property coming in. You can't technically tell or expect a 1099 employee to do it. And most of them, yeah, sure, they'll do it. They don't care. But if your employees or your 1099 contractors decide they don't want to wear the uniform, or they get dirty or they get lost, they don't technically have to do anything about it. And then the second thing is, I think a lot of people prefer to be W-2. Like they get handled, they get taken care of. They understand that they're kind of like in this family. It's not just like you're this lone person and we avail ourselves of your services. But you know, I know that Mike preaches about having a company and a core value-based culture that you create, and part of that is joining your company as a as a W-2 employee and being like, hey, we're going to cover you. You've got, you know, all of the workers' comp. You've got, you know, the FUDA and SUDA. You're going to have, you know, benefits that, you know, Social Security and all these other things that you don't have to handle. We'll take care of that for you. You're part of our family, which I think is valuable to a lot of people.
I would agree. I absolutely agree. It's easier to build a community and a culture and a place that is special that people want to be a part of when you're putting your money where your mouth is and you're investing in your people, whether it's training, professional development, workers' compensation insurance, unemployment insurance, all the benefits that we provide as employers, I think makes a better relationship than just a hired gun. And at the end of the day, first and foremost, we are in the client attraction business. A close second is we are in the people business. Mary says subcontracted for years, but not anymore because of the flimsy and uncertain definition of subcontractor here in New Zealand, and decided the risk wasn't worth it. I'm so appreciative for that comment, Mary, because again, we've coached folks all over the world, and the terms may be different in terms of W-2 versus 1099, but the concepts are almost the same in just every government I've coached. Every country I've coached in, the government is very much like, we want employers to do this and we're going to penalize those that don't. And we intentionally, I shouldn't say intentionally because I don't know the government's intent, but it's always very unclear. And of course, it's not a fair shake. The government always gets the last say in what's what. So they make it unclear. So an agent can just go in and go, I make $38,000 a year, and I unilaterally decided that these are all your contractors for the last 5 years have been W-2 employees, and now you got to make it right, which is not that's a prickly pear. Jason says culture is what can set us apart. He is absolutely right. Every company I've done, I give you guys all the systems and processes to follow, and they're awesome, and I've built businesses with them. But I would say a lot of times we didn't even do all my own systems because we had such a strong culture that covered so much stuff. So really culture wins, and trying to do that with contract employees can be tough. Bob says, I believe you'd have to be have a contract, a subcontract. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of words, Bob. We're near the end, so I will answer you offline in the text. All right. So the last thing that people believe that I really want to make sure we dive into is you don't need a system, and what I don't know can't hurt me. I have absolutely seen that kill businesses, that belief of what I don't know can't help me, and I don't need a system. I'll just figure it out on my own. I did the figure it out on my own for 20 years and spent just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars on making stupid mistakes with zeros on the end. And that is part of why I have so much joy getting to help you guys make better, smarter mistakes than I made. So the truth is, your business is only as good as the system that you follow. And sadly, certainly in the United States, welcome Maria, welcome TJ. Yeah. So again, the truth of the matter is your business is only as good as the system you follow. And unfortunately, not only what you don't know can hurt you, can cost you your business if you do it wrong. So if you are committed and ready to take your cleaning company to the next level right now, go to growmycleaningcompany.com/talk. You can apply to jump on a call with me to help you figure out where you are, where you want to go, what's working, what's not working. Space is limited because at this time I do all of these calls myself personally, and I can certainly only do so many per day. So go to growmycleaningcompany.com/talk if you are 1000% committed to take your cleaning company to the next level, and you're ready to do so right now. growmycleaningcompany.com/talk. All right. Bob's saying they went after FedEx. Maria says, going to the bath, listening to you guys. That makes me feel good, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I'm glad that you're here. All right. Charlie says, love to connect offline. Ram Clean is my business. Love the name. Let's get it, brother. Charlie would love to connect with you. Go to growmycleaningcompany.com/talk, and we can chat. Great to see you guys. I'm going to let you guys go because it's been a good meeting. Feel free to email Nat at growmycleaningcompany.com if you've got feedback of what you'd like us to do on our next upcoming live, or if you got any questions about what we do, how we do it, or how we can make your life better. That's it. All right, guys, gals, ladies, thank you so much for hanging out. We'll see you guys in a couple days.
Thanks for tuning in to today's show. If you're fired up, ready to grow, and want to see if you have what it takes to work with us at Grow My Cleaning Company, here's what I want you to do right now. Go to growmycleaningcompany.com/talk. That's growmycleaningcompany.com/talk to book an appointment to speak with me personally. I'm going to jump on the phone with you to get you crystal clear on where you are now, where you want to be, and how to get you there. Don't walk around in the dark any longer. If you are serious about growing your cleaning company, it's time to finally get the systems in place that you need to grow. We've helped hundreds of owners of cleaning companies not only grow their business and their personal freedom, but give back to their community as well. If that's what you're looking for, head over to growmycleaningcompany.com/talk and book a time to talk with me personally. I can't wait to get to know you and your business.